guys, my name is Annabelle from Horizon Cosplay. This is my friend Ari, and
Hello.
This is a very lovely vintage sewing machine that has been in his family for several generations, I believe.
Yes, it's been around for a long time. My great-great-grandmother had it. It was hers, she taught her daughter with it, she taught her daughter with it, and so on and so forth until my mother. Unfortunately, I don't have any sisters to pass it on to, so it's been given to me.
Alright, shall we open her up and see what she looks like?
Of course.
So, first off, beautiful wooden case. A little bit dusty, but nothing that a little polish won't do. Got these lovely carved bits on the corner as well, and it has such a cute little square key. Does it look square to you, or is it like an octagon?
Probably
Kind of,
more like a square, yeah.
yeah, square, and it just
That
slots.
would have little rusted, it is probably a square.
That just turns nicely, and she slides straight off.
Nice.
Okay, absolutely stunning. So she is a Federation sewing machine, and I think we actually looked her up yesterday, didn't we? What year was she made in again?
1891.
So I think officially this is the oldest sewing machine we've ever had on the YouTube channel, which is very exciting. And the decals are in utterly perfect condition. The only wear and tear that I can actually see is just a tiny bit on the top here where the thread obviously sits, and you can just see where it's worn off one of the flowers.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's pretty much perfect. And
Something over 120 years old, 40 maybe, and for being in a well shed for a decade.
oh yeah. So why was it in a well shed, Ari?
Because it was given to my mum and she didn't decide what to do with it.
So it just got left in a well shed for the last 10 years.
Yeah, but
no.
remarkably good shape for it.
No, definitely. Handle slides out nicely, and geez Louise, I think she works like a dream, especially considering she hasn't been touched in about 10 years. She has got a shuttle bobbin as well, so she uses the long old-fashioned bobbins rather than the modern-day circular ones. And the other thing, which I'm very interested in, is this little cardboard box. Would like to do the honours?
Of course. Try not to rip anything either. Ta-da.
Ooh.
Got a instruction manual in.
Oh wow.
And then a whole section of tools. I'm sure you know more than I.
Oh my gosh, alright, so let's have a look at the instruction manual first. Directions for operating a cylinder shuttle sewing machine. For
According to
hand...
my grandmother, it would have had a date on the bottom which would have dated the machine as well, but unfortunately this one wasn't printed with one.
Oh darn it,
I had to go with the
that's a shame.
serial code.
Oh wow.
Which, if it is accurate, the serial code dates it 1891.
Jeez Louise. The illustrations in this are absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Has directions for oiling it as well, which is going to come in very handy.
Yeah. It's got pretty much
Gosh.
everything you need in there.
And
I think you could use those instructions to repair it.
Oh, definitely.
If
And
it does need any repair.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it does. It goes so smooth.
Yeah.
But also, just like, considering this paper is going to be as old as the machine is, other than a few tears, there's nothing missing from it, and it is in
Yeah.
remarkably good condition, which is pretty damn
Guess the
cool.
box did its job to keep it safe.
No, it definitely did. Now, there's lots of details in here about different sewing machine feet that it's come with. So let's have a little look inside the brown paper box. So, first thing we're going to pull out is, oh, this is cool. It's 1 dozen assorted taper point round shank needles from Federation Family and Spool Machines. That is awesome. A little bit of old tape, I think that can go to one side. Oh gosh, look, it's an original oiling can. That is so cool. Just look how cute that is, guys. And some of the holes here are actually, which I really like, they're labelled with the word oil, which means that you can clearly see which holes are oil holes and which holes were just casting holes, which does make my life a little bit easier, I'm not going to lie.
This is just simply a packet, actually.
Oh,
It's got
darn
any
it.
needles in it.
I mean, it's still pretty
There's
cool
a
to
second
keep.
packet, so I'm pretty sure that
Oh,
one
yeah,
has
here you go. So this one is assorted number 3/7, 25 needles in each packet, English made. Oh, it folds out?
Yeah.
Oh wow, there is a lot of sewing needles in there. So these ones are all hand sewing needles. Some of them are a little bit rusty. Oh my gosh, look at the size of this one.
Blimey, that is tiny.
How the hell would you even sew with that? That is not even the size of my fingernail.
How you would even thread it, even?
I genuinely have
Need a
no
microscope
idea.
for that one.
Oh my gosh, so guys, I'm just going to try and get the camera to focus on this, so just so you can appreciate how tiny this is.
Barely a centimetre.
That's how big it is. Absolutely minuscule. And bloody sharp as well. But then we also have this adorable screwdriver. It is apparently from Sheffield. And I'm guessing that's to take apart the machine and everything where it has screws and tighten the tension.
most likely.
We then have some very gone off elastic that definitely doesn't have any stretch in it anymore.
Oh, what a shame.
And, 3 more bobbins. So I think, let's have a look. If we open up the bobbin holes, let's take out the shuttle. So there's 1 bobbin in there at the moment. You then have 2, 3, 4 bobbins in total. So you can see that the last colours they were sewing on this machine were a nice light pink, a bit of a darker maroony colour, a medium kind of blue, would you say?
Very deep blue.
And I think this was green. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see at the top there, probably was a green colour.
It's just kind of
A bit
lost,
faded.
yeah, lost colour a little bit. Alrighty, then we have, little spanner.
It
That's
makes
adorable.
sense if it had green and blue, red and blue as well.
Yeah.
To have green.
So the spanner has a tiny bit of rust on it, but nothing that we can't clean up.
Yeah.
And again, I'm guessing that's for just adjusting tension and stuff on the machine.
Yeah. Came from the original kit. It's
We have
impressive.
a spare screw of some kind, I think. Not really sure what that is, if I'm being totally honest. Oh look, some more gone off elastic. Always a fun thing. Here we go. So this is a rolled hem foot, which is pretty damn cool. So that would just sit on there like that, and it would roll it as you sew. Got I think that's supposed to be a quilting foot, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, we can probably check. So this would be, quilting foot according to the instructions. We then have this. Now, a friend of mine was telling me about these because I keep getting these in my vintage machines. I genuinely have no idea what they were supposed to be used for. And I believe it's supposed to be, so there should be this bolt here undoes. And then what you would do, put that in there and set it so that you can run your seam along the edge and therefore set your seam allowance, because unlike modern day machines, these don't have a ruler showing you how much seam allowance you've got. So rather than it being a bit wonky because you're doing it by eye, this would give you a guide to set it to. Then we have this, which I think is just another sewing machine kind of screw thing.
Yeah.
A massive rolled hem foot for those really large hems that you definitely need to sew every single day. Well, this is something that I don't think I've ever seen before. Genuinely, I'm not sure what it is. It's adjustable. Possibly it's another seam allowance thing. Let's have a flick through the booklet and see if we can get this going. Oh wow, this booklet has a list of parts. Now that is handy. I wish all the other machines came with this, honestly.
It'll make your job easier.
Oh, definitely. Not that I see one of these on here, to be fair though. But then potentially if this is a foot, it wasn't originally brought with the machine because you could buy feet separately. So that would make sense. Well, if any of you guys know what this is, please do let us know.
It would be helpful.
Yeah. Otherwise, I suppose we'll just have to experiment with it and see what works. I believe this is a piping foot. Should come in quite handy for leather if you ever want to do piping.
Yeah.
We've got another rolled hem foot, I believe this is,
Nice.
and then 1 more spare screw, and that is everything that's in the box.
Fair enough.
Alrighty, well, now we've unpacked it, would you like me to give it a clean for you and get nice and shiny?
Absolutely.
Alright.
Lovely to see this in tip-top condition again.
Alright, well, if you want to go away for a little bit, I'll call you back when she's done.
Got it.
Now, this sewing machine is in considerably better condition than pretty much any other one that I've worked on in this channel, which is funny because, as we mentioned, this has to be the oldest machine we've ever had. So, I'm just going to treat it like every other, and we're going to start by giving it a wipe down with some water. So, I noticed there was some fluff in the keyhole, and that is just some of what we've managed to get out so far. The rest is already in the bin. But it is really gross in there. Probably no one's ever really cleaned it properly, so that's about, you know, a good 100 years or so worth of dust and grime. To be fair, looking at the machine though, pretty sure it's the only bit that's actually grimy. Ugh, lovely. So it's all been wiped over, the wood's still a bit damp but the metal bit is dry, which means it is time for the cotton wool buds and the sewing machine oil to just give it a polish. So let's get on with that. Okay, so she's all polished and gorgeous, but just before we get Ari back over there to try her out, let's thread her up for him. So first thing we need to do is pop the bobbin back in. It is all correctly threaded already. We are using the original thread that it came with, but you know, that shouldn't be a problem. Alright, now to thread her up. So I've got some hand sewing needles in here because reasons, so let's take those out and just pop them over there. See, one thing I do like about this is it's got a hook so you can actually just slide it in on the top. Whereas, and same for this one at the bottom here, whereas a lot of Singer machines that were made a lot later on, it's a hole that you physically have to thread it through, and honestly, it is so annoying, quite frankly. So that makes life easy. One more hook there. And then, let's just post this through. Alright, she's all threaded up. Now let's see if she works. Hey Ari, do you want to come over and do the honours?
Of course.
Right, so I've threaded her all up for you. So
right.
if we pop this little bit of fabric just in here, press her foot down, and you want to turn her up and over the top. I'm pretty sure, and let's see if she goes. Oh, I think we're getting stitches. We are getting stitches. Oh, that is so cool.
Nice.
Does she feel smooth?
Yeah, but
God, she sounds beautiful.
indeed.
So smooth.
Very.
Honestly, I think that's some of the best
Nice.
stitching I've ever seen from a vintage machine.
Yeah, that
How
is pretty.
cool is that? Well, now that's all done, what are you going to use her for?
Level working, hopefully.
So I think that'll be good. You're not going to put it back in the well shed though, are you?
Oh, absolutely not. This is
Gonna say.
going nice and safe.
Well, I'm very pleased to hear that. Okay, so I have just been doing some Googling because I was really struggling to find any information on the Federation Sewing Company.
Yeah.
And the reason I was struggling to find any information on the Federation Sewing Company is because the Federation Sewing Company doesn't really exist. Instead, this was actually made by a company called the Jones Sewing Machine Company, who used to produce over 100 different machines with 100 different names, which, unlike Singer, who would only put their own name on a machine, they'd do all sorts of things, and Federation is one of the ones that they would do. It also used to do CWS, Cooperative Wholesale Society, Whitley's Universal Federation, which is actually another name for the Cooperative Wholesale Society, which is interesting. But they're all basically exactly the same machine, just with different names on depending on where they were produced and who they were sold to.
Fair enough.
Which is quite interesting. But it also explains, because when I was searching Federation machines, I was getting a whole bunch of Joe machines come up, and I did think that the decals looked like they were a very similar style, and that would be why.
Well, fair enough.
And the name for this shuttle is called a vibrating shuttle. So, yeah, fun facts.
Nice.
Apparently, Jones also gifted one of their machines to Queen Alexandra.
Ah.
Do you like it when I get a machine that's been used by royalty? Shows that it was a good one, eh?
Yeah, that is true.
In the 60s, the Jones Sewing Machine Company was actually brought out by Brother, so technically the company does still exist, but the name's just been retired, which is quite an interesting thing. But Brother, when they brought it, moved the manufacturing from the UK to Japan, which unfortunately means no more made in England.
No dear.
At one point, before the Singer Sewing Machine Factory got so big, apparently Jones did have the largest sewing machine factory in the UK.
Where would this one have been made then? If it's a Federation one from 1890.
So, well, this would have been made in Guidebridge, Manchester, which is where they opened up shop in 1869, and in 1893, which I think is about when this machine was made, it was the largest sewing machine factory in the UK.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what we like Google for. Well guys, thank you so much for joining us. With that, I believe this machine is all done and she's ready to go off and be used for leather work, and she's just such, I'm a bit jealous, I'm not gonna lie. I wish I had a machine that had been around for 5 generations in my family.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please do drop us a like. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'm more than happy to answer them, and I do reply to every single one. And if you want to nerd out with me about vintage sewing machines, we do have a Discord now, which is getting rather chatty, so please join. You're on there, aren't you? So please do join. The link is in the description down below. Otherwise, I post sewing, cosplay and history bounding videos every single Wednesday, and until then, bye!